Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Go Native Farms. And today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what you should be looking for when you're going to be buying a farm or a homestead in relation to your soil. So let's kind of look down a little bit here and look at the soil. And you might notice in the southwest and in other desert areas, you might have some cactus, and that's okay. But you want to look at what you have for soil. And you want to bring some kind of a tool, a shovel or whatever, and just go down a little bit and see what does that soil look like. So this is pretty good. You can work with this. This soil may be a little void in nutrients. You might need to add some manure and stuff, which you're going to have to. But there's no rocks in the soil. A lot of people, they will go ahead and buy soil, or I should say land, and it has tons of rocks and very little actual earth that you can work with. So you want to be very careful in what you buy when you are looking for that farm or homestead. Now we're just gonna kind of take a little bit of a walk, and I'm going to show you what you don't want. So in this area, I walked the land before I bought this property, and I checked out what the soil was like. I grabbed a shovel and I came and I did some little digging to make sure there wasn't too many rocks. So as we're walking along here, you'll start to see now we're getting into a little more rocks. And this is difficult to work with. And we're gonna walk a little bit farther and show you what you really don't want. But basically, just walk your property, because you're going to be doing some farming, hopefully, on your farm and homestead. And when you are going to be doing that, you got to look at all these rocks. So now we're getting into more and more rocks. Look at all this stuff. I just have a pile of rocks here that you don't want to be farming in something like this. That's a disaster. You could plant trees in there, but you're going to be getting into more and more problems. This is going to not work very well. You don't want tons of rocks in your garden unless you absolutely have to. And we're kind of just going to walk a little bit more and show you, like right here. This is getting worse and worse. And eventually we'll go over to my garden later today, and I'll show you guys what my garden looks like and how it's working out pretty good. So just a short distance from good soil, you can have all this garbage, and you definitely want to, understand what is going on your property. And if you're gonna farm the whole thing, you better walk it, because you're definitely going to be getting into a lot of work and a lot of labor, and nobody can farm this. Who's going to farm this stuff? That's a disaster. You could plant fruit trees in there, but it's going to be a lot of work. And as you can see, more and more rocks. So definitely don't be purchasing something like this planning on farming that. That's going to be not very fun. All right, so we're gonna keep walking, and I'll show you how the soil can get worse and worse, because a lot of people will buy their farm and homestead, and they buy an area. It might be beautiful. They might buy land in an area where it looks awesome like this, but they don't really take into consideration what they need to take into consideration, and that's the farming. Now look what we're getting into. Just a short walk, and we've got massive boulders everywhere. Giant boulders. And I've met a lot of people, they buy this property like this, and you're gonna be a rock farmer, Look at this stuff. I've met people, I've gone out to their place, all they have is rocks. And they want to start a farm, and it's like, okay, well then you're going to have to spend tons and tons of money to bring in topsoil, and or you have to do raised beds, which is a disaster. So in the Southwest, there's rocks everywhere, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. There's a nice little cactus there that just bloomed, a hedgehog cactus. That's real pretty. See, maybe you could be a hedgehog cactus farmer. But let's cruise over here, and I'll show you what some other people have purchased, and that's all they have is it's Rock City. So right here, this is fun to hike through, you know, look for snakes and lizards and stuff. But how are you gonna farm this? The answer is you're not. So be very careful. Don't buy anything online. And you know, you want to get into this kind of a disaster? I don't think so. I think I hear a snake over here, or water or something. That's my neighbor's property. But you know, if you're gonna be a rock farmer, then this is good stuff. But yeah, definitely walk that land, and don't buy land that looks like this. It's okay if there's some of this, but you're gonna definitely want to be farming and gardening and raising your chickens. And do you want, you know, your animals to run around on this as well? Because they're gonna break their foot or a hoof or whatever. So that's kind of a little bit what I wanted to talk about. Just wanted to show you it can be quite beautiful in the Southwest, but you definitely need to go out there, walk that land. Don't buy things online that are cheap. There's a lot of cheap stuff in the Southwest. You can buy acres for just a few $1,000s, but you can't do anything with it. And then the other thing, of course, which I forgot to mention, is there water out there? How are you gonna get your water? If you can get a well, that's the best way to do things. So I have a well. I don't bring in the water. If you're going to be bringing in your water or trapping the water, that is a whole additional amount of work that you may or may not want to do. But you want to kind of make things as easy as possible for you, because farming's not easy, and raising animals is not easy. Everything takes time, and you want to make life as simple as possible, and definitely do not get into this kind of a mess for the large amount of your property. And I think we're probably going to just go ahead and cut out for a second, and then I'll show you the garden I have and how luscious everything is and how it's growing and doing a really good job. So I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, we made it to our garden, and as you can see over here, first thing you notice is there's a lot of green, and then I've got trees going as well, a lot of apple trees. And then let's take a look at this earth, the soil. So you can see I have corn down here, and the corn's doing good, and you can see this soil here is very workable. There are some rocks in here, which I throw out to the side. But overall, like you'll see one rock here and there, and I hate dealing with those rocks, but overall, this is very farmable. And I have a nice row of corn going on here, and then we'll kind of just step over a couple rows here, and we'll take a look at the soil here. You can see is also very good. We have beets coming in here. It's a nice, good soil. Some small rocks. This stuff's really good. We mixed manure in here, and it's doing great. We also have melons growing there. That's a melon right there coming up, and got more melons. Everything's growing really good, and basically all I had to add here was some manure and a little bit of sulfur, and everything's doing good. We even got a little grasshopper there, which we don't worry about those too much, because the grasshoppers usually eat the weeds before they eat our plants. But overall, you can see pretty good soil here. And this is the kind of stuff that you're gonna want. Just walk around, find some good soil that doesn't have a ton of rocks, where you can grow and farm, and you're going to be so much happier than if you get into a rock city. So hopefully that helped a little bit with the soil, and there are other things to take into consideration, but on this video I was just basically talking about the soil and maybe a little bit on the water. You definitely have to think about that, and you might want to think about other things like electricity, and you also probably want to think about sewage and can you put in a septic tank and things like that. But mostly I just wanted to focus on the soil today, because a lot of people, I've seen it time and time again, they buy land that they cannot farm, but they're wanting to farm and homestead, and I'd hate to see somebody spend all this money and just kind of crash their dreams a little bit and set them back, and maybe can cause a big financial problem as well. But thank you guys very much for tuning in, and hope you have a great rest of the day. Please do like, subscribe, and share, especially if my videos help you. Have a great day.